I think mission is like God's plan for you, what he wants you to be doing.
I just want to live my life open to God, really.
And I believe he'll direct me because he has a purpose for me, and I know he shall fulfill it.
I'd like the chance to help somebody and to feel I was being of some use.
In a few years' time, these young people might be working overseas with the Leprosy mission. By then, we could be close to controlling leprosy as a common world health problem. But to do this, we will need more money, prayer and support than ever before. The need is urgent. Time is running out. We ask you to join us in Countdown to Cure.
This is Desalin. He started treatment 3 months ago. The signs of leprosy are already disappearing. He has no disabilities. And when he finishes treatment in 2 years' time, he will still have no disabilities. And this is Lomi. She came to our hospital 3 years ago. She can't close her eyes properly. Her hands have become stiff and have no feeling. Unfortunately, one leg has been amputated, and the other foot also has serious problems. Her father doesn't want her to go back to the village, because if she does, the whole family will be ostracized. What should I do? She's a young girl. I couldn't just leave her to become a beggar in Addis Ababa. I have some money that has been given to me, and so I have rented this house and bought the chickens. I hope that in 2 years' time, when the chickens have been breeding for some time, Lomi will be financially independent. And with that, will have an increased self-worth and self-esteem.
Heather, Catherine and June are part of an international team working in Ethiopia at ALERT, the All-Africa Leprosy and Rehabilitation Training Centre in Addis Ababa. They're all supported by their local churches in the UK.
We thank you for inspiring the work of the Leprosy Mission as they search for ways of preventing or curing this disfiguring disease. We especially pray for our link missionary, June Nash, now working in Ethiopia, a place of great need and poverty.
Every time June comes home on furlough, she always spends a week here at Putsey. She stays with the vicar and his wife Judith, who get on tremendously with June, and she always preaches here, and everybody looks forward to her coming. I mean, the church is full when she's here. They all want to hear June. She's a lovely person.
Father, we ask you to give June your constant protection. Release funds and resources necessary for her to carry out the tasks you have set before her. Keep her from loneliness, and in every hour of need, may she know your presence and fear no evil. Father, in your mercy.
Amen. Prayer is what keeps you going. It's the oil that runs the engine. I mean, of myself, I can't do anything. I mean, you are asking people to work as a missionary, to do big things, and you cannot do big things without prayer. It's impossible. If you think of, you know, the whole mission as being a stage and a theatre, we used to be the actors. We were the stars of the show. God was the director, and the people that we went to were the audience. But I think now the stars of the show have to be national Christians, local people here, and we're the prompts. We remind them of what the director has told them, and we try and give them the words when they forget them. And basically my idea is to work myself out of a job so that they can star in the show and I'm no longer needed.
Community-based projects are one of the best ways to encourage these new partnerships. Sheshemane is a fertile area south of Addis, where a community of ex-leprosy patients with disabilities have been given some land to farm.
We bought a man called Ato Jamal and his wife, Anox. Both Ato Jamal and his wife are severely disabled, and they have young children. And if he ploughs with his hands all day, A, it takes him a lot longer, you know, and B, he gets more disabilities. Yeah. So with the ox, he can plough his fields in, I don't know, maybe a tenth of the time. We have some new, younger staff here who are also sold on the idea of community-based care and training patients to be independent. For example, Girma, who is a shoe supervisor, but he's much broader. He's also interested in the people and interested in their future and in their welfare.
I met Ato Jema's family because of footwear study. When I did my first follow-up, I asked what they have, what income they have, and they told me both of them are beggars. So I thought this family will be good candidate for rehabilitation program, and I introduced their kids to Ato Teferra, the social worker of ALC.
Then I did an assessment and found that this family is appropriate for rehabilitation. I provide them with an ox, fertilizer, seed, and other basic agricultural inputs. This time I heard that both Jamal and his wife are working hard in their field, and they both have stopped begging. If they continue like this, I believe that both of them will live a better life in the coming years.
Part of the strategy for this sort of rehabilitation is that patients participate in regular self-help groups in their own homes.
Mamit is a very brave woman and very resourceful and very good in the groups when she's discussing with the others. She has all sorts of ideas for the people, how they can hold things better, how they can do things more safely and so on. She has a lot of disabilities. She has a small ulcer, I think, at the minute, but she manages it very well. And with her hands, she can do everything that she needs to. It's really amazing how she has adapted tools and so on. We have to think of the long-term results of what we're doing. If I give some, it's like, teaching somebody to fish or giving them the fish for the day, that kind of thing. If you can teach them to be independent and to maintain their self-worth, which comes from your ability to fulfill your own basic needs, to have a family that loves you, to have enough money to be able to feed yourself and your family, and to know also that God is there. That these are the important things for people, and that's what we have to be able to help them to get to. Not, here's my ulcer, look after it for me.
We have started with a project, just a pilot project. If it is successful and other people within the villages sort of catch the vision that they really can manage this sort of health program themselves, and then other people will be enthused and it will just take off. And then rather than people going to the hospital for help all the time, help in terms of bandages, trimming or whatever, that they are just as independent as they possibly can be.
Catherine, like June, has a strong relationship with the church in the UK. Highfield in Southampton has an active missionary support group.
We write to her and she gets out a regular prayer letter which keeps us up with the information that we needed to really care for her as a partner overseas.
Heather's church, like June's and Catherine's, are also involved in her ministry. They recently gave her £1,000, which she plans to use to set up a pilot scheme in the village that has grown up outside the Alert compound.
It's a very big village. I mean, it's we're talking about 3,000 to 4,000 patients who have disabilities. And Balai has a wife and 3 children, 3 small children. And he's a daily labourer. So when he gets ulcers, I mean, what can he do? He has to go on work, and there's no way he can rest. And there's no way then the ulcer's going to heal. So he's joined the scheme now. He can have maybe 100 birr, which is £10, and he can He feeds his family for a month on that, yeah, and he doesn't have to work for that month.
Countdown to Cure is about reaching children like these before it's too late. Sadly, there are thousands of families in Addis Ababa whose children are at risk.
Mastawat developed leprosy as a small child, and as a result, she lost the fingers on both hands. We found out that she hadn't been cooking for the last 4 or 5 years because she couldn't hold a knife. So that was the reason for finding a material that was locally available that she could in the future get someone else to make, modify for her, and tools inserted into it. When we returned from the market, we used the leather to make the leather strap that you see around Mastawat's hand. Into that is a little pocket where the handle of the knife is secured. And now you can see Mastawat using this to cut her vegetables. It is important that she protects her hands whilst cooking, because wounds caused by heat and burns are the principal reason why ladies lose their fingers.
Like Mastawat, Lome and Desolan both developed leprosy as children, but Desolan received treatment in time. Through Countdown to Cure, we want to reach those who are most at risk in order to prevent the disabilities that Lome will have to live with forever. In recent years, we've seen that the number of sufferers in the world has dropped from 15 million to less than 6 million. So it could be only a few years before we have leprosy under control. We mustn't give up now. There are 2 important things that you could do to become part of Countdown to Cure. One is to pray, and the other is to give. Please, pray with members of your church that we are successful in bringing leprosy under control. And give whatever you can, so that we can raise extra money to see this hope fulfilled, and so that we can continue to look after people like Lome, who are going to need our help for many years to come. Along with the video, you will find more information and a deed of covenant and banker's order form. Please send whatever you can to Countdown to Cure, the Leprosy Mission, Goldhay Way, Orton Goldhay, Peterborough, PE2 5GZ. Don't put it off. Please get involved now. Lome and Desolan and millions like them need our help. Thank you.